Hello and welcome back to Rosie Sews Modern Vintage. I'm Rosie and it's really lovely to have you here. Now, how long has it been since I have done a vlog? I don't know, months, and I'm so sorry. During the awful time that we have had over the last year or so, I've gradually got more and more sick of the sound of my own voice, and I got to a point with YouTube where I just felt like I couldn't listen to myself waffling on anymore. But I'm feeling much more positive now, and I've really enjoyed doing a lot of sewing projects over the summer, so I thought I would pop on here to show you some of the things that I've made. So let's get right to it. Now, over the summer we were really busy, or it felt really busy, because summer 2020 was rubbish, wasn't it? And we didn't really get to do anything. But this summer we went camping back in June, which was really lovely. We went down to Cornwall and had just a fabulous time watching the sun setting over the lighthouse at the sea, and visited lovely towns like St Ives and bought cream teas and pasties and just had a lovely week together, just the three of us. And then I also got invited to a wedding. So in the end of August, beginning of September, I'm trying to remember the date now, can't remember, we went to a wedding. It was absolutely beautiful, lovely day, and of course I had to make a new outfit for it. So I thought I would just show you some of the things that I have been making. You will have seen them on Instagram if you follow me, but hopefully on YouTube we can go into a bit more detail, can't we? So the first thing I was going to show you is my wedding outfit. I made Tilly and the Buttons lotta dress, which you'll know I absolutely love them. So I'm sort of no stranger to a lotta dress, so it didn't take me long to make. So this one was made in a cotton poplin. Now the thing with this poplin was it was a Rose and Hubble, which are only 115 centimetres wide. So on the skirt I had to cut it into two pieces on the back. Sorry, turn it around. So I've got a seam running down the middle of the back and also down the middle of the back of the bodice as well. Whoops, getting in a pickle here. Down here. But honestly, it's such a busy print that I really don't think it matters. And I love cherry print. If you know me at all, you'll know that I absolutely love fruit prints in general, but particularly cherries. And I just thought this was such a happy print, lovely colours, like not too over the top, just me. So I made my lovely lotta dress. I did have to use, I think it was 4 meters that I used in the end, because I had to like do half a skirt panel and then half a skirt panel underneath it, you know. So that was that, and I wore it with a big frothy petticoat. But to take it to the next level, because we were going to a wedding, I made a rather nice accessory to go with it, which is this Fascinator. Got my hat pins here to hold it in place when I'm wearing it. So for this I just got a hat base. Well, actually it was a Fascinator that I already had, so I took it all apart. This was part of it. It was some blue and cream bits on there as well, and then I sort of pulled the fabric tight over it. Because it's a circle, obviously you get some pleating, but as long as you put the pleats in kind of strategic places, it looks really nice. Then just hand sewed it inside. You can see sort of the edges. I could have trimmed it neater, but I didn't want them to be too short and end up sticking out when I put the Fascinator on, so I thought I'd leave them long and then they could stay inside. And then so that was a Cinnamay hat base, and then this was a long piece of Cinnamay, and I literally just folded it into sort of a pattern that I liked, and then I just hand stitched that on, so you can just see a few little stitches here and there, but you know, it doesn't notice once you've got it on like this. So I'll show you a picture of me wearing the full outfit here. Now, as you can see, I wore it with my hair down, and I actually kind of regret that, because I feel like the Fascinator didn't sit right. But anyway, it is what it is. I felt really nice on the day, and I think it was really special that it you know, that it had the Fascinator to go with it. But then since then I've worn it just as an everyday dress, and I kind of dressed it down with chunky boots and a cardigan. So I'll pop a picture here of that. So I really love the fact that this dress can be dressed up and down, made to look more special for a special occasion, etc. And that is another reason why I just love the Tilly and the Buttons Lotta dress so much, because it's just perfect for my wardrobe. So that is my first make that I was going to show you. The second thing is this beautiful satin skirt. It is a gored full circle skirt. It's the Gertie Hirsch charm patterns. I'm just finding the pattern actually. Can't remember the name of it. Oh yeah, Stanwick skirt. So that's the pattern. So you can have either straight or flared, and it is in panels, and it's 6 panels altogether. And you have like an extra wide front panel that's like the width of 2 panels, and then two side ones each side, and then 2 at the back, which is split with the zip. So it's effectively like 2 side panels, 1 big back panel, 1 big front panel. Does that make sense? Anyway, so because it's got all of these panels, so what is that? That's 8, not 6, 8. It's really easy to get them muddled up, and I thought I'm going to label them. It's all going to be fine. I'm going to absolutely smash this. It's going to be it's going to be really simple. I just label it all and it'll turn out just okay. And when I'd finished it, I'd sewn all of the narrow panels together, and then the large front panel on one side. So basically now, if I want the large front panel at the front, I have to have the button in like the button and zip in some random place on the side of me somewhere. Like it doesn't quite look right, but because the button is the zip is it's a lapped zip, so it doesn't show too much. And then when you've got a belt on and everything, it doesn't show. So I made this out of a beautiful satin from Minerva. It is an incredible bargain. It's only £3.99 a metre, and it's got this lovely kind of almost like sort of Chinese style embellishments on it. I could kind of see, you know, lovely mandarin collared dress made out of this, but obviously because I'm not Chinese, I wouldn't want to do that, but I thought it would make a really beautiful full skirt, and it has. I haven't had a chance to wear it all dressed up with big petticoats, high heels, all the rest of it, but we did go out for a meal with my mum and dad to celebrate their wedding anniversary, and it was outside at a pub, so it wasn't like a really glamorous location. So I decided I still wanted to wear it, so I popped it on with a black polo neck and some black chunky boots, and here is a photograph of the outfit. So as you can see, it worked fine for me, because I very often wear skirts even for casual, so I was really happy with how that came out. So that is my Stanwick skirt. Another project that we did over the summer was one for Felicity Fabrics. So all of us bloggers, I think there's 17 of us all together, maybe 14, can't remember, but most of us managed to find the opportunity to take part in this challenge, and the girls at Felicity's asked us to choose some fabric and then make a dress, and we could choose whatever dress pattern we wanted to, but it had to be made with a maximum amount of 3 meters. And there was a dress I'd really fancied trying, which is the Hinterland. Now, I've made the Hinterland dress a couple of times before. I'll pop up my checked version that I made last winter, which I really love. But I wanted to make, and I really like the button plackets on it, but I wanted to have a go at making it without the button plackets and without sleeves. This is the dress. So you can see the fabric I chose is a really simple cotton poplin, red with white anchors on it. And here is the dress. So I cut the front bodice on the fold rather than in 2 pieces as the pattern pieces tell you to, and I also folded in the allowance for the button placket to be sewn on, so that it was just the right size for, you know, just cut it on the fold, so it could just be a front bodice. And obviously the back is always cut on the fold. Well, I am absolutely thrilled with the way it turned out. It's a really lovely, just simple dress that worked really well for the summer, but I also think it's going to be great for the autumn winter, because again, I can pop on my polo neck or a stripy t-shirt, something like that underneath, and my boots and a nice pair of tights, and it will be perfect for going out when it's a bit chillier. So I've not actually ironed this, so that's why it's a bit creased. But I finished off the neck. I think the original pattern says you have to have a facing, but I just did bias binding. This was some bias binding that I had from years ago that I really loved. I'm trying to remember what the name of the company was now. I think it's called Okie Dokie, but they don't sell this bias binding anymore. You used to be able to get it from fabric shops and stuff, but they don't sell it anymore. So anyway, I sort of kept it for a long time because I really love it and I didn't want to waste it. So I finally found a use for it. Now another part of the challenge was that we were supplied with a sew-in label that said handmade, I think it was. Yes, and we needed to find somewhere interesting to sew the label. We weren't allowed to sew it in the back where you normally put the sewing label, so I did put one in there, but my own kind of machine one, and I chose one of the tie straps. So there you go. I sewed it with blanket stitch, and it didn't look too bad. Like, I'm not a brilliant hand stitcher, so it didn't look too bad, but then I put it through the washing machine and like all the faults have come out in my sewing, so it looks pretty rough now. So I think I'm probably going to take that off and re-stitch it by hand onto there. But I thought it was a really nice idea that we all had to come up with a different place to sew the label. So some people sewed it into their hem, some people sewed it in the sleeve, some people had it on show on like a pocket, or some, I can't remember exactly where they were, but I know that I think it was Liz, the baker who sews, she sewed hers on the front, I think. I'm probably wrong now. But anyway, everybody came up with different places to sew them, and it was really fun to sort of see what ideas everybody had come up with. And what's amazing is the 13 or 14 of us that did sew the dresses, none of us sewed a repeat pattern either. So they're worth however many blogs there were written, they were all different, which was really, really nice to see. And it's just lovely to see everybody's style come out in their own personal way. So that was our Felicity Fabrics blog project. The next project that I took on over the summer was to make a few Bakerloo dresses. Now you'll remember my first Bakerloo dress, this one. So that is with sleeves and also the big collar. I absolutely love this dress. It's so fantastic. I just love it. It's got this massive collar, but it's really beautiful, and the colour combination I really like. Just everything about it I love. But the one thing that I don't like about it is that it's a bit awkward when you're wanting to like put a cardigan on or anything like that, and you've got this big collar to sort of try and flatten out over your cardigan and all of that. And so I thought I would try one without the collar. So the one that I made was from this quite understated fabric for me from Minerva. This is an art gallery fabrics. This one also needs ironing, hence the creases, sorry about that. And so I made the dress absolutely the same as I always do. I do tweak the sleeves because I find them a bit puffy for me, so I've taken all the puff out, they're just a straight sleeve. But apart from that, all I did was just omit the collar, and I was left with the normal rounded collar, and then I used my French curve ruler to just open out the neckline. Sorry, rounded neckline I meant. So I used the French curve ruler to open out the neckline to give it a more kind of, it's a better shape on me. It's sort of it's just, I think a very small round neck can sometimes look a bit severe on me because I've got a short neck. So opening it up made a lot of difference. So I'll pop a picture here of me wearing that dress. And then it got me thinking that wouldn't it be nice to, a little bit like my red anchor Hinterland dress that I showed you just now, wouldn't it be nice to have a dress like that that I could put on with again, my stripy t-shirts, which I have loads of, or a cardigan or whatever, and almost wear it a little bit like a pinafore dress. So the next one that I made was this one, and this is another fabric from Minerva. Now I'm trying to, I don't think it's a designer, because this one was a little bit cheaper. This was £10.99 a metre. I used it for a blog post, so I can put a link to that and to my blog as well. These mushrooms are very me, aren't they? I just loved them. As you can see behind me, I absolutely love the Cath Kidston mushroom print. It is my favourite print ever. And so now anything with red mushrooms on, I'm always really keen to get, because I don't know, just makes me happy. So yeah, so on this one, I didn't put any sleeves on. I just overlocked the edges and sewed them in. And I did the same on the neckline, overlocked the edges and folded them in, and obviously put my little label in as well. This one, I made the neckline ever so slightly wider than the last one. So I felt that the one I just showed you in the blue with the little stars on, it was a bit scooped, and I wanted it more of a boat neck. So I just kept that in my mind when I was drawing my line with my French curve, and just tried to keep it really open but not too low, kept it a little bit higher. So here is a picture of me wearing this, and as you can see, I'm wearing it with my Converse, well, my cheap Primark version of Converse, and a stripy t-shirt, but I could just as easily put this on with my boots and a denim jacket or a big thick winter coat and some tights, and it would be really cozy. So yeah, so that was my venture into sewing the Bakerloo dress. I'm really pleased. This one I think is, I love my one with the collar, but I think out of the two without the collar, this is my favourite because this is so versatile, and I do want to make some more because I think it's just going to be so useful. So that is the review of all of the clothes that I made this summer. And I think you'll agree I have been pretty busy. And I've really enjoyed getting back into sewing for events and things to go to. It's been really nice. And I also want to say thank you so much for sticking with me whilst I've been AWOL on YouTube. I really appreciate your loyalty, and I hope you have enjoyed the first video back. I've got a big pile of fabrics here which I am about to film another vlog for. I'm going to talk about my plans for the winter, some of the things that I'm going to be making. I've got some fabrics that I've bought and also some fabrics that I have been gifted. So so watch out for that, because that will be coming in the next few days. In the meantime, thanks so much. Have a lovely day, and of course, happy sewing.